I literally went to that school for one purpose, really. And that's because of a guy. Yep, because of a guy.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Hello everyone. It's been a while. So I recently saw a picture of my dad and my little cousin. This picture right here. And I was reminded of an incident that happened that day. So this picture was taken when I was convocated some years back, while my sister and my little cousin followed me back to my hostel to drop some things they brought for me. There's this big sculpture at the center of our hall of residence. My little cousin looked around and was like, wow, Antela Umo, it's God that brought you to this school. Oh. And when she said that, I was drawn back and I was just surprised and glad. I was surprised because this cousin of mine was less than 5. And I was like, what inspiration did she get to even say that? But I was glad because in a way she confirmed something that although I already knew, I didn't give a back story of my going to the school. It might be funny, but I literally went to that school for one purpose, really. And that's because of a guy. So a year before I got into the school, I had a boyfriend who had gained admission into that school. So our intent then was that, okay, I would come to the school and then we'll continue our relationship. But as God would have it, the relationship dissolved by the second semester of my 100 level. And I suppose that was when it should have clicked that God's plans for me going to that school wasn't because of any relationship. I was in the school and I made amazing friends. Some of whom we still talk to. Beyond the friendship, I think it was really the environment for me. I did go to school to learn, but for me it was more of the spirituality than the academics. And the school really bred me into a spiritual lady. I mean, it's not like I didn't know God. It's not like I was a pagan or I was atheist or anything like that. I was just a regular church goer. But going to the school, my spiritual life sort of skyrocketed. Yeah? It was different. I experienced things, I saw things that I could only imagine. Like my idea of university or school was, carrying your jotters, your notebooks on your hand and walking like we saw in movies. But that wasn't what I experienced. It was just different. And it took me a while, some months, maybe a year, to realize God's intent for me in the school. And when she said that, you can now relate or understand why I was glad, I was joyful, because it was just really different. So when I heard her say it was God that brought you into this school, I was like, oh, you're so right. Because literally my plans, my intentions were definitely not God's intention. Yes, God probably wanted me, or most likely wanted me to go to the school. And they must have, in a way, put that intent in my heart. But I connected it to the wrong stuff. But God still had His way, really. And so I'm reminded of that Bible verse. God's ways are not our ways. As far as the earth is from the earth, as far as the east is from the west, that's how far God's intent for us, and that's how far God's will for us are. We might think we know exactly what God wants, but we really do not. So so we may think, oh, I know God wants me to go to a Christian school, I know God wants me to go to a university, I know He wants me to go to a Christian university. But I mean, I just need to go to a university, right? So you might be thinking you just need to go to a Christian university, but there's a way He would have you do it. There's an intent in His heart when He wants you to go to that school. There's a purpose, there's a will He wants, there's something in the heart of God yeah, that He wants you to accomplish when you go to such schools or wherever. The bottom line of this, because it's getting too long, is this: your ways are not God's ways. God's ways are not your ways. His thoughts for you and not your thoughts for yourself. The intent in His acts and not the intent you have. But I promise you that He knows what is best for you, and He's going to do that. He wants the best for you. Remember in Jeremiah it says, I know the thoughts I think towards you, they are of good and not of evil, to bring you to the hope and the future. So I want you to have this as a reminder that your intent are not God's intent, but I want you to know that He loves you and He wants the best for you. It's time to rest into. Alrighty.